So here we are again for test attempt number 2 for the Poor Boys RC Speed Run Challenge 2025. The last test I did, I would say successful. The picture perhaps doesn't show it justice, but we got 34 and that was only a test run. But we are ready now to go for test number 2. I'm going to very quickly go over what I've done with the car. I'm going to try and show you. So it's here. We've put team associated shocks on the back, which you would have seen in the previous video. I've actually managed to get them slightly angled, but using some shock extenders on the back there. It's got softer springs this time round. Green springs that came off of the RC10 GT. They're a bit softer. I've changed the wheels and tyres. So on the backs here, we've just got like a 12mm hex, pretty much the same sort of size as what the original Grasshopper would have been. It's slightly treaded, as you can see there, but it's soft. The fronts, I've gone back to the original Grasshopper front wheels and tyres. You know, we all know what that looks like. It just hopefully will give it a little bit more stability at speed. It does sit slightly higher. That's all I've done. Same gearing, same motor, same battery, nickel metal hydride battery. I've just pretty much just stiffened the front shocks up a little bit as well. So we're all ready to go. So let's give it another run. Hang on, scrap that. It doesn't work. It's all over the place. Actually, 22 miles an hour, useless. On to the next idea. Hold that thought. Just waiting. We've got that on there now, but body doesn't fit on. Got to take it off to put the body on. Oh well. Let's get cracking. You're not going to believe it. I lost that on the last time I did a speed run. I've just found it. Bear in mind, right, it could be absolutely freaking anywhere, and I found it. The sun was glistening off it. Not that I wasn't even looking for it. But anyway, it's a nice day for a speed run. Test. But another test run. You can see, I'll show you, I've got like great big wheels on it now. I think what I've got to try and do is get the suspension's got to be changed. Just make sure this works. Yeah. They stop. I'm going to keep saying that. Well, there's 5 miles an hour. Right, it is only a test. The thing is, I can't keep it straight or do anything. So this could be the only one I do. Right. I can't even get flat out. That's barely half throttle. I've got to avoid any bumps because it goes all over the shot. You can't brake either. Half throttle, not even that. It will go quicker, but I can't hold it. So that rear suspension definitely needs looking at. Right, let's see. what, 35 miles an hour. Um, 35, and that's just squeezing it. We'll try again. But I think the trick is get suspension that works at the back. Barely half throttle. It's a ridiculous looking car, but that's not even flat out. 3/4 maybe. Don't know, that's about, it ain't gonna go much more than that. Let's see what we got. Well, 38. So I might use that as a benchmark, because I don't want to wreck it. That's the thing, and I can't get on the brakes because it will go all over the shot, and it's as smooth as it's going to be out here, to be honest. I can't do much more at the moment. I think, yeah, I think shocks are going to be where I'm at. It's certainly not held. I said about 38. That was flat out for a bit there, and it almost tipped. I think that's going to be about it. So I went flat out for a split second. You could hear the engine wind up. You'll also notice that if we look at this, it's got like a wing on it to try and keep it stable. I think these wheels, I don't know what they're off of, some ready to run, I don't know, one of those truck things, I think. So I can't remember which one it is now. Right, so
stop, read.
Well, that's a good benchmark. I'm going to leave it there. 45 miles an hour. Brushless. And that's only on a nickel metal hydride as well, so we'll do that. We'll keep it there. And I think that will do the stance of the car. It looks right, but it's been over once today. So 45 miles an hour, unofficial. I think they are one of the armour cars. Those wheels are offer, wheels and tyres, come as a pair. They're like tarmac tyres for the off-road trucks. It's on, put the Grasshopper onto 14mm hexes adapters, which are just planes everywhere. Exactly like 12mm ones, so they go straight on. You don't get a full nut on these, but it's done up enough. It is only literally a speed run.
on that particular run I did nearly flat out, nearly, but not held, and that's on standard gearing with a brushless motor and a 4,300 I think it is, or whatever, or 200 or 300 milliamp hour battery, nickel metal hydride. It's not even on 2 or 3S yet, so there's certainly more in that. The brakes are terrible because they're only on the back wheels. So as soon as you put any sort of stopping power on the receiver and the transmitter, it throws it off. It sort of tips up, so but it does force the weight forward, which is good. I think it might hold it a bit more stable. So the stability that I need, 45 mile an hour like that is pretty good. I think I'll continue testing, getting the stability. I've got some other shocks that are cheap Chinese crappy shocks, but I reckon I can get the back more stable, allow me to hold the throttle more, and then I can probably go up the gearing, and then 2S, and then maybe 3S. So we'll get back to the shed because it's hot, and we'll do a bit of a close out for this video. So that was a quite a successful speed run. So just quickly, what's next basically? Well, maybe got this metal like gear spur here, which means we can put a more powerful motor in. What else? Well, although these shocks work quite well, and they're probably, or they are better than what was on there, I have ordered, got this here, this super hopped up hot rod Grasshopper, as someone called it. It's got some different dampers on the back. I could use these, but me being me, ordered some more. So I've ordered some of these cheap ones to replace these. What I'm hoping is that the cheap shocks work. They work better. So that's that. Obviously another motor, and then you got like a 2S battery, but until it can be kept pinned to the floor, there's not a lot I can do. There's no point actually going quicker until I can keep the trigger planted, at least so the engine, just so the motor can wind up. Improvements that I made, which were massive, different turnbuckles, put different ends on. These ends are actually for an aeroplane rudder or flaps, rear flaps, so they're slightly longer. They're not at their extremities, and the wheels are actually pointing straight. But the other big thing I did is there's no play in any of this. The bottom shocks, I've got like a rubber fuel hose in it to support them, because there was a bit of play when you did this. There's a small amount of play there. That's all gone. I think putting these big wheels on the back sort of forces all the weight forward anyway, so that it's more stable at the front. There's no gyro running on this, by the way, so I've got to get the back a bit smaller, a bit more settled. And then we can start winding up either the power by the motor or the battery. I think the motor will be the last thing that I do to depends on what I can get. I mean, unofficial 45 miles an hour. It's not bad. It sort of bounces along there, but what you can't do is brake. Man, as soon as you hit the throttle and brake, after the run I should say, yeah, it's just a disaster waiting to happen. Strengthen this up to stop any flex there. I don't know if it's done any different. Taped the battery tray up this time. Let's give you a close up of these. So they're like an armour, I don't know what it is, but I wish they did these in 1/10 or 1/8. I'd buy loads of them. These are really good. Yeah, there's not much else I can show you really. I can't think. You can't see what I've done at the front. All you can do is trust me that there's absolutely no play there at all now. These are slightly like that, but it sits lower anyway, so that doesn't make any difference. I mean, you could run these a bit stiffer, but I think having the weight over the front keeps it stable. Yeah, we're getting there. 45 miles an hour was my quickest run today, unofficially, but everything's as it is, as it's been throughout my videos. So yeah, I think the next stage is going to be the rear shocks, and I think that's going to allow me to pin the throttle. We can then maybe try on 2S, but that'll probably be more of an official one. So I've got some ideas to do with the body, because the body screws down and it takes ages. Well, it doesn't take that long, but you've got to take it off to show you everything. I mean, I turned up with it on and ready to go, so to save time, but I've got to show you everything I've got. This has got the wing on the front. This is just a team associated wing. I don't know if it's made any difference. I am thinking of putting a wing on the back as well. Yeah, well, it is a wing in itself, it's a wedge, isn't it? But maybe one you can buy, not going to obviously make it, but have it so it sits maybe off the roof at a similar angle to try and keep it more stable. Don't know yet, we'll see. So that's probably my last unofficial run. Next time you see this, it'll be an official one showing you all the gubbing, so you'll finally see what's. I'll do some more test runs myself, but other than that, official videos will be out in some point in July. Yeah, and I'll see you for that very soon. Bye for now.